What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. And in today's video we're doing some dumb shit, and I'm going to be matchmaking the most one-sided retarded fights that I can think of in every division. That's right, we are just trying to get an opponent killed inside the cage. That's what we're doing. We're just making literal legalized murder. We are trying to see how wide we could make the betting odds on certain fights. Obviously some of these are not as one-sided as others, they're just kind of funny in my opinion, but yeah, we are being completely mean in today's video and doing some unfair matchmaking. And I might need to call up Hunter Campbell to convince some of these people to take these fights because they're signing up for a death wish. But let's get into it. So right off the bat here, we're going to be calling back Davison Figueiredo, and he's going to be cutting back down to 125. Now, we don't care how he makes it. We're going to bring out the IVs for this, but we're going to be having him fight Matt Schnell. So yeah, I would predict that in his prime Figueiredo versus Matt Schnell right now, I'm guessing we're looking at around like minus 600, minus 700 betting odds probably, because Figueiredo is going to jab this man in the face and he's just going to die. Now, as I said, some of these are more one-sided than others. You could probably just get like the worst flyweight on the roster, but it's not as funny. I just find it really funny how absolutely fucking no chin Matt Schnell is, how he's just got no ability to take a punch whatsoever. And Figueiredo is the hardest hitter I can think of in flyweight history. If you're looking right now, if you're trying to do it right now, you could do maybe like a Alex Perez fight, or you could do like a Steve Erceg rematch. I don't know. But there's not that many like crazy power punches at flyweight right now. So I'm calling back Figgy. He's cutting back down. We're bringing out the IVs. We're getting this man down to 125 somehow, and we're going to have him just murder Matt Schnell and jab him unconscious in the first round. So this is a great fight, but let's move on though to the bantamweight division. Now for bantamweight, we've got Mr. Meep himself, Mr. Chiwi, and we're going to be having him fight Piotr Jan. And the reason why we're doing this is because I just think it would be extremely funny. And also, I wanted to find someone at bantamweight with like no chin, like Cody Garbrandt, and then do him versus some massive power puncher. Like, I mean, I could have done like a Cody Garbrandt versus like Dominic Cruz? Cheeto Vera is what I meant to say. And I was going to just be like, oh, that'd be funny. But I low-key could just see Cheeto somehow like fumbling that. No, so I've gone with this. This is just one-sided as shit, obviously. I'm looking at probably like minus 800, minus 900 odds here. They arguably should be wider. They probably would be. But just knowing some retards, they'll be like, Rosas is legit, man. His grappling is serious. So yeah, I think this would be a very funny fight to watch. I think it would be... It's very amusing. I got no personal issue with Raul Rosas Jr. I was just trying to think of something that would be funny, and I was like, all right, let's do Rosas Jr. versus like some top 5 bantamweight. You could have just done Rosas versus O'Malley, but I wanted to like avoid doing the champions here because it makes it kind of boring. Takes the fun out of it. So yeah, we're going with Peter Yan versus Raul Rosas Jr. Highly competitive matchup. Needs to happen. Book it. Let's move on though to the featherweight division. For the featherweight division, this is just actual murder. Josh Emmett versus Weston Wilson is what I've gone with. And now if you guys don't know who Weston Wilson is, you can probably look at him, like he looks like a build your own character, like default settings, fucking UFC 4 character mode, base fucking settings individual. Like, this is what Weston Wilson's looking like an absolute victim, just someone waiting to be KO'd. And if you watch his fights, he gets KO'd easily. Joe Anderson Brito chinned him, or just beat him up with ground and pound in the first round. Then he fought Gene Silva, and Gene Silva dropped him like 12 times in that fight. It was very funny to watch. So yeah, we're going with Josh Emmett, the overhand merchant himself, big meaty hooks Emmett, and he's just going to wind up one of those big meaty hooks all the way from fucking the corner, and he's just going to launch that shit and just knock Weston Wilson dead. Like, you thought Bryce Mitchell might have been dead? I'm pretty sure we might witness a fatality if this fight was booked. And in saying that, make it happen. But let's move on, though, to the lightweight division. Now, for lightweight, we're going with Benoit Saint-Denis versus Anshul Jubli. Why did you redeem, sir? That is very bad matchup for me. I do not want to take that. Not at all. But Anshul Jubli... he's going to use his customer support powers, and he's going to confuse Benoit Saint-Denis, and he's going to be like, sir, I need your credit card number. And then Benoit Saint-Denis is just going to be like speaking like broken English, just confused fans. Like, I would like to go for Dustin Poirier. And then he's just going to be fucking confused. And that's how Anshul Jubli can go about winning this fight. But in all seriousness, this would be very funny to watch. I can just bro, this guy got walked down and TKO'd in the third by Mike Breeden, who just started barking at him. And obviously, again, I said you could do more one-sided fights in this. You could run Charles Oliveira in there or some shit like that, or Gaethje, like I said, or like I put in the thumbnail. But it's something about this just seems funny. Anshul Jubilee, the fucking representative of Indian MMA versus BSD is just gonna fucking kill him. It'll be very amusing. Book it for UFC Paris main event. Let's move on though to the next division. Next up for the welterweight division, we've got two elite strikers. This is gonna be an absolute war. I'm channeling my inner Dana White fight announcement energy right now. This is an absolute war. These two guys, 25 knockouts between them. Only 3 of their fights have gone to decision. These guys put it all on the line, and this fight is guaranteed to be a banger. Jack Della Maddalena versus Alex Morono, certified hood classic. Just the elite boxers of the welterweight division. Obviously, we've got Jack Della Maddalena, and then we've got obviously Alex Morono, Mr. Uncle at the barbecue, getting into a scrap because he's had a few too many drinks. That's what we're looking with here. That last fight with Nico Price was just painful to watch, and I think if you're gonna book the most one-sided striking match, if you're trying to get someone just beaten up badly, yeah, you don't chuck him in with some grappler, because I was going to do Shavkat versus someone, but I was nah, Shavkat might just grapple him. But Jack Della Maddalena, I was thinking of doing MVP versus Alex Morono too. But yeah, Jack Della Maddalena, he's going to throw a technical jab, and then Alex Morono's just going to have a fucking aneurysm and be what is this? Yeah, so that's what we're doing. We're doing Jack Della Maddalena with his solid boxing, nothing crazy, versus Alex Morono with the drunk uncle striking. Obviously, I'm picking Alex Morono. He'd be a -700 favorite. But no, I think this would be a good -1,000 odds. Would be very funny. Also, I forgot to talk about the odds for the other fight. Josh Emmett and Weston Wilson. I think we're looking at -2,000 odds. And then BSD versus Anshul Jubilee. I think we're looking at -9... -711 odds or something like that, just the store that Anshul Jubilee works at. I think that's what we're looking at here. Is the local 7-Eleven worker Anshul Jubilee versus French military officer. Sounds like good matchmaking. But back on track, I think the odds here, probably around -1,000 for Jack Della Maddalena. Great fight, make it happen. Let's move on though to the middleweight division. For middleweight, we've got Michel Pereira Demolidor versus Cedricus Dumas, aka 21 Savage or Blueface, whichever one you want to go with there. But that's what we're going with here. We got Michel Pereira, the fucking backflip, guillotine you unconscious, kick you to the body, sub you while you're falling to the ground, just the absolute menace, versus a literal SoundCloud rapper. 21 Savage, Blueface. We got DaBaby in the house here. Yeah, this would be an incredible fight. Obviously, Michel Pereira is looking for a matchup. We need to get him back in the cage. And, Cedricus Dumas, he looked pretty good against Sultan Rizabov. That first round TKO loss, it's not too bad. I reckon he could have a good shot against Michel Pereira. He would just have to start rapping, and then Michel would just die. His ears would burst. He'd get vertigo or whatever. He'd go dizzy. So that's what we need to do. This matchup needs to be made, and I'm looking at around -1,000 odds. Sorry, I just burped. Given that Michel Pereira was a -600 against Ihor Peteria, I think this would probably be -900 probably, I would hope. Be around that. I reckon Dumas is a similar level to Peteria, but it's just funny because, I don't know. Maybe we can also unlock a new racially motivated Pereira. Maybe that can be a thing too. But let's move on though to the light heavyweight division. Next up for light heavyweight, Yuri Prohaska is unfortunately not going to be able to fight Alex Pereira because we're going to need to give him one more fight before then just to prove that he's ready. And that man is Kennedy Nzechukwu. Obviously, Kennedy Nzechukwu coming off a decision loss to OSP. And nothing like a decision loss to OSP like your next fight being Yuri Prohaska. That's the matchup to make. I was thinking of doing Reyes versus someone, but then I was thinking Reyes ain't that bad. Reyes is a good fighter, he just gets chinned a bunch. But no, Kennedy Nzechukwu is genuinely shit. He lost to OSP. He's all athleticism, no power, no skill, no technique, nothing, no grappling, nothing for him to do against Yuri, really. He's hittable as fuck, he's got no defense. He's getting wobbled by OSP. OSP looks like he struggles to fucking kick. He looks like he's got hip dysplasia or something when he's fucking throwing lower body strikes. He's throwing that front kick, looks like he's got to readjust his hip afterwards, pop it back in. But Yuri Prohaska is going to spinning elbows, man, into oblivion. It'll be very funny to watch, make this fight happen. We could do like a KSI kind of situation. You know how he fought, what's his name, Pineda, and then he fought Swarms. Do that, but with Yuri. He can go fight. He can go knock out. Go start channeling his autism, and knock out Kennedy and Nzechukwu, and then he'll already have his autism activated by the time he steps in the cage against Pereira. Because normally it takes him, like, he has to get, like, hit a bunch, like against Rakic, for him to be able to channel the autism and get the knockout. But if you have Kennedy just jab him a couple times, he'll just channel that autism, he'll spinning fucking elbow this man in the nose, and then he'll channel that autism all the way to the Pereira fight, and then maybe we can get fully autistic Prohaska versus Mr. Sharma, and then that's going to be the peak of their powers, so we need to make that fight happen. But let's move on, though, to the heavyweight division. For heavyweight, Sergey Pavlovich had to be one half of the equation, because I can't go with Aspinall because he's a champion, and if you're going to give me a person tailor-made to just get chinned by Sergey Pavlovich, I'm going with Austin Lane. This man is literally a victim. He's a fucking former NFL player. Perfect backgrounds for you to be shit at heavyweight MMA. Because all the NFL players, previously, Braxton Smith wobbled so that Austin Lane could get knocked out. Like, that's what Braxton Smith gassed out in 2 minutes and lost to Parker Porter so that Austin Lane could get chinned brutally by Justin Tafa and Janata Denise. Like, Braxton Smith is the real OG. But yeah, Pavlovich versus Austin Lane. If Pavlovich loses to Volkov, give him a step back and just let him knock out some fool in 50 seconds. And Austin Lane is the perfect person to be chinned in that time. I don't like Austin Lane. He just annoys me to look at. You see those people that just annoy you to look at? I'm probably one of them. But regardless, Austin Lane is that for me. I just want him to get knocked out, and I find it very amusing when he does so. So yeah, make this fight happen. I'm looking at like minus. Honestly, I probably just wouldn't even trust Pavlovich. He might just get taken down somehow. Obviously Austin Lane, his offensive wrestling is on the par with Alistair Overeem, and that's the only other person apart from Aspinall to beat Pavlovich. So yeah, somehow he would just like knock him out, even though that doesn't make sense, but it would probably happen. But yeah, make this fight happen as the main card opener of Madison Square Garden. Don't ask why. That just seems like a fitting location. Actually, no, do it in Salt Lake City so that Austin Lane can wrestle him for the first round and then gas out, and then the KO will be even funnier. But yeah, that is the video done, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Leave a comment if you want me to do part 2, because I could probably make this a fucking 10-part series. It's very funny to just talk about random fights that are just unfair. It's very amusing. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.